I want to talk about something that is really important to me. And it is getting back to the basics of human connection. And what I mean by that is we have forgotten over the last number of years what it means to be an actual human being, how to connect with other people, how to treat each other, how to speak to each other. And we've all gotten so caught up in our devices and social media and the internet and everything that goes along with that we have forgotten how to sit around a table with another human being and actually have a conversation and have that be enough. When I was growing up, we didn't have any of those things. We didn't have cell phones or the internet. And if you wanted to talk to your friends, you got on a bike and you went to their house, or you invited them over to your house, or you met them at the park and you played basketball. And that was all that we did for fun. There were no video games involved. And when it came time to eat dinner, we all sat down at the dinner table and we ate together as a family and we talked about our days. And after dinner, there was nothing to do. So we just sat there and we talked to each other until one of us got up to go clean up the dishes, and then the other person would get up and help out. And then we just spent time together after that. And we have lost that as a society. We've stopped doing that. And I think it's because we're scared to just sit in silence with another human being. We're scared to be we don't know what to do with that awkward silence. So we fill it with TV or video games or our phones or social media or anything else that will distract us from having to actually face the reality of just sitting around in silence with another human being. Now, I'm not saying that we need to spend all of our time doing this. I have a business. I love my business. I work very hard at my business. And sometimes I like to come home and unwind and watch TV. But there is a certain amount of time where I consciously make a decision to disconnect from everything. I put my phone away, I turn off the TV, and I just sit and I either read a book or I write or I meditate. And when my husband gets home, we don't ask each other what we did with our day. We don't ask each other what's going on in each other's life. We don't even necessarily ask each other how we are, because we know that that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is to show up for each other and to be present for each other. And when we do that, we listen. When you're talking to someone, really listen to what they're saying. Don't just sit there and wait for your turn to talk again. Actually listen to what they're saying and respond accordingly based on what they're telling you. Because sometimes we're just looking for someone to vent to. Sometimes we're just looking for someone to tell our story to. And sometimes we're just looking for someone to actually listen. When was the last time that you actually listened to someone? When was the last time you gave someone your full attention and you didn't have any distractions? You didn't have your phone out, you didn't have the TV on, and you just sat there and you connected with someone on a human level. And it's funny because I've done this with a lot of different people in my life. And it always leads to the same outcome. I'll start telling somebody something about my day or about my life or something that's going on. And they'll look at their phone. And every single time, without fail, when they look at their phone, I feel less than. I feel less than because I feel like I'm not important enough for them to put their phone down and give me their attention. And I know that's silly. I know that's irrational, but we're humans. And if someone isn't giving me their attention, then I assume that they must not care about me. And so, if you want to connect with someone, you have to make them feel more important than you. You have to make them feel more valuable than you. And the way that you do that is by giving them your attention. Think about the last time that someone gave you their undivided attention. Think about how that made you feel. It probably made you feel loved. It probably made you feel seen. It probably made you feel valued and appreciated. And that's what we all want. One of the most powerful things that you can do to connect with someone is simply ask them questions about who they are, about what's going on in their life, about what's important to them, about what their dreams are, about what their goals are. And then when they tell you, actually listen and take an interest. You know, a lot of times people will ask me, what should I do? I'm so bored. And I say, well, why don't you pick up the phone and call an old friend? Because we don't call our friends anymore. We don't stay in touch with the people that we used to hang out with. We don't make plans to get together. We don't ask each other how we are. And so I realized that we're all just really disconnected from each other. And I think it's because we're so focused on ourselves. We're so worried about what other people think of us that we forget to worry about what other people are thinking. And we forget that they probably thinking the same things about us that we rethinking about them. And so when we focus on ourselves, we forget that everyone else is focused on themselves as well. And we assume that everyone else has their lives figured out. We assume that everyone else doesn't struggle with the same things that we do. But that's not true. Everyone struggles. Everyone has their own problems. And so the best thing that we can do for each other is to just listen. Just listen to each other's stories. Listen to what's going on in each other's lives. And then try to be there for each other. Try to be supportive. Try to be loving. Try to be kind. And it's funny because sometimes people will ask me, how can I help you? What can I do for you? And I never know what to say to that because I don't want anything from anyone. All I want is for them to listen. All I want is for them to care. All I want is for them to be there for me. And so the next time that you have a conversation with someone, I want you to really think about what's happening. Am I focused on myself? Am I waiting for my turn to talk again? Or am I really listening to what the other person is saying? Am I making them feel important? Am I making them feel valuable? Am I making them feel loved? Because that's what we all want. That's what we all need. And the more that we can give that to other people, the more that we'll get it back. It's not always going to be in that moment. Sometimes it takes a long time for us to build up that trust with other people. Sometimes we have to show up for someone over and over again before they're willing to show up for us. But that's okay. As long as we know that we're doing the right thing, then that's all that matters. And so I hope that this video can be a reminder for all of us to get back to the basics of human connection. Let's focus on each other. Let's listen to each other. Let's love each other. Let's be kind to each other. Let's be compassionate towards each other, because that's what this world needs more of. That's what we all need more of. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button below. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love to have you here, and I will see you in the next video.